Thank you very much, Mr. Kopikar, for those illuminating words. It was indeed the head start that we were looking forward to in this summit. Well, on that note, let us now move forward, and it's time to introduce our guest of honor, Dr. Ajay Kumar, Defense Secretary, Ministry of Defense, Government of India, to share his address. But before I invite him, may I also share a few words about him. Dr. Ajay Kumar joined the Indian Administrative Service in 1985 and is presently heading the Department of Defense of the Government of India since August 2019. He completed his BTech in Electrical Engineering from Indian Institute of Technology at Kanpur, India, and subsequently completed MS Applied Economics from the University of Minnesota, USA, and also a PhD in Business Administration from Carlson School of Management, University of Minnesota, USA. In fact, having served in the state of government of Kerala in early years, he also served in the Ministry of Communications and IT as the Director General, National Informatics Center, NIC, and as the Additional Secretary, Department of Electronics and Information Technology. Now, before assuming his current appointment, he served in the Ministry of Defense as the Secretary, Department of Defense Production from December 2017 to August 2019. In fact, he was awarded the Silver Elephant Medallion by National Scouts and Guides by His Excellency, the President of India in 1994. And in the same year, he was also managed to earn the citation by the Honorable Prime Minister of India and was adjudged the outstanding young person by the Junior Chamber of Kerala. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dr. Kumar.
There comes a time in the life cycle of every sector when in the history of that sector it is about to take off. And I can say confidently that aerospace and defense sector is at that moment of history. And I say this because it's for the first time that we will have a private player who will be making aeroplanes in the country, not only for ourselves, but also for export. It is for the first time that drone design and manufacturing has been liberalized, and hundreds of companies today are starting to work in this area. It is for the first time that armed forces have said that these items we shall not import, and already 200 plus such items have been identified. More such items on which embargo will be put are going to be identified. It is for the first time that defense export is not restricted. On the other hand, it is on open general export license, something which was difficult to think of a few years back. It is for the first time that we see over 1,000 startups who are working on the frontier tech of technology for defense and aerospace and are changing the profile of Indian defense ecosystem. It is only time when one of them is going to become a unicorn in this sector. It is the kind of excitement, optimism and confidence that defense industry exudes today is really that makes us believe that we are on the threshold of a big explosion in the aerospace and defense sector. I must say that the government has also taken several steps, several unprecedented steps for promoting this sector. Let me start with the breakthrough initiative of earmarking the defense budget for domestic industry, which was started for the first time last year, and 58% of defense budget was earmarked. In 21-22, current financial year, from 58%, the budget has been increased to 64% for domestic industry. Over 75,000 crores are going to be available for procurement from India this year. But what is even more notable is that while last year the earmarking was for defense industries alone to promote the growth of private defense industry and aerospace industry, earmarking has been separately done from the private industry and similarly for startups. This ensures an assured quantity of orders for this industry. To encourage the domestic industry, it is also proposed to speed up the procurement. Typically, defense procurements in India used to take 5 to 6 years. This resulted in a lot of financial stress for private players. It has now been decided that all defense capital procurements shall be finished within 2 years, and this will bring it at par with best in the world. Testing and trial is being simplified. Public sector defense testing labs have been and firing ranges have been opened up for private industry. We are also introducing third party testing and certification, so that the defense industry is able to get their products tested in certified labs. Further, one of the new efforts which have been started is the process of software and simulation testing. A framework for creating digital twins which could be used for testing has been launched last month by Ministry of Defense, and I encourage all players in the industry to look at the feasibility of using digital twins, which will reduce both the cost and time of testing in the defense domain. We have recently corporatized the Ordnance Factory Board and its 41 factories. The 7 corporate entities which have come as a result of this corporatization are expected to result in acceleration and growth of these industry, and it is estimated that in the next 4 to 5 years the turnover of these companies will be growing by 250% of the current OFB turnover. We have also put for the first time shown inclination to reduce our imports, and it is very heartening to say that as against the dubious distinction of being the biggest importer of defense equipment, for the first time India has figured in the list of defense exporters of this list of SIPRI, which is an international endorsement of exponential growth of defense exports that has been taking place. Today, our defense industry, especially those which are part of the global supply chain of global OEMs, has been making us proud. They have not only been diversifying in the number of components and products that they are producing, but also supplying to a range of countries, including leading ones like US, European countries, Israel, Russia, etc. The government has also initiated a process of partial disinvestment of DPSUs, which has resulted in much greater professionalization in the defense public sector undertakings. The kind of market endorsement which these professional DPSUs have received as a result of disinvestment is noteworthy. The share prices of these organizations have seen tremendous growth over the last 1.5 years, which is again a sign of how this industry is growing. While we are talking of growth of this industry, I must say that we still need to continuously work and grow this industry. The opportunities in this industry are huge. Aerospace and defense industry globally is $300 to $400 billion, and India today constitutes a very small part of it. However, I am confident that given our abilities as seen in other sectors, whether it is the IT sector or the auto sector, we can also do it in aerospace and defense. If China, which was a big importer of defense and aerospace, could transform itself to become the third largest exporter in about a decade and a half, if a country like Mexico can become one of the big exporters of aero components, if India itself could become a big manufacturer and exporter of automobiles and auto components, if we recognize the greater importance of digital technologies which is coming in defense, and given the fact that India has inherent strengths in digital technologies, and whatever trends which our startups have shown in the last year or two, there is absolutely no doubt that aerospace and defense sector is the scenario for aerospace and defense sector is extremely encouraging and positive for India. We in Defense Ministry are ready to work closely with the industry, both private and DPSUs, towards meeting this goal, and we will not stop till we achieve it. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.